I encourage everyone to continue to grow, to ideate, to let's say, test what might be the right path for you. It's definitely, but be honest in who you are. Statistics show that when it comes to income progression, those who change roles or even organizations every couple of years, their salary increases outpace, I wish I could do this, outpace
one place.
those that stay in one place, even if they continue to get increases. Learn, earn, and move on. You have to continue to seek opportunity and not wait for it. And continue to grow and develop yourself above and beyond whatever training you might be hoping your company provides you. Job mindset had me at, they don't pay me to do that. Career mindset and realization was, wait a minute, I have to show that I showed them that I'm capable of doing that before they would.
Yeah.
Hard work comes before success in any walk of life. Do not be upset about success that you didn't get from work that you didn't put in.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's been a trend of entrepreneurship's great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's great for if that's what's, if it's for you.
Yeah.
Outstanding. It's not for everybody.
Right.
And so you can find a passion and think you want to monetize it, right? Mm-hmm. And get into it. And people are thinking maybe they want to escape what they call the rat race, right? Yeah. The 9 to 5, they don't want to work for anybody else. They're trying to escape, and they're pursuing entrepreneurship as a means to do that. So maybe they do it aligned with the skill set they built, or aligned with the passion that they have, right? Yeah. And they're trying to figure out how to monetize it, grow it. Can I grow it to the point where it'll replace my income enough for me to make that move and jump over? That's the right move for some people.
Right.
However, you can also build yourself a prison.
You can.
A new prison, right?
Yeah.
Because turning your passion into your profession can actually take the joy out of it as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So part of this could be maybe looking at things a little differently and getting outside the mindset of I have to get my living from one thing. Right.
Right.
You could have a passion pursuit and you could even monetize it and have a side income and still maintain your profession at the same time to help give you some balance and stability. It takes all the pressure off you for having to keep that passion project afloat.
Yeah.
Because you're not using it to provide for your family, right? Mm-hmm. Now you can enjoy it for the joy of it, monetize it, have some additional income, relieve some pressure from your profession, your day job, right? So that if something's going on there, I know we all work to grow and get promoted, but it takes a little bit of the pressure off of that a little bit, right? And so your happiness and joy in both could be greater by not putting all your eggs in one basket or the other.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's something some people think about as an option or a way to approach things. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's something that I would definitely encourage people to explore, right? You start thinking about your hobbies and interests aligning with your purpose and your passion. And could that be something you could monetize? Because let's be honest, right? And I'll say this too. I encourage everyone to continue to grow, to ideate, to let's say, test what might be the right path for you, especially if you're thinking about, how do you align your income potential with the lifestyle plan we've been talking about here.
Yeah.
But be honest in who you are, right? And if you're at a stage in your life where aligning with a corporation or an existing business with infrastructure to allow you to earn a living is where you need to be right now, do that, because those are incubators for you to learn operationally what it takes to run a business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to learn what services you will need when you do grow your business, right? And as you start it small and scale it, you can pull from that experience. I equated, and I might have said this in one of our other videos, Jonathan. I remember years ago, I like many people probably out there watching this video, and maybe not because I'm of a different generation, multi-level marketing programs were huge, and some still are. and they have good and bad reputations. But I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I learned came from one of those organizations because they were really big on personal development. And there was a book that was in cycle for that particular month. And the author of that book was hosting a speaking event near where I was living. And I went out and met him. The gentleman owned several McDonald's, right? But what he talked about was what led him to that, say, goal of being an entrepreneur in that way and owning some franchises was that during his time, say, working for someone else, his mindset was every opportunity or every job or every role that he had during that period where he was still working for someone else in his career was a paid internship.
Yeah.
And he had the philosophy of I'm going to learn, I'm going to earn, and I'm going to move on. Right. And he framed it in an 18-month to 2 year cycle. Learn, earn, and move on. All right. Because he realized, and if you do any research to this day, you're in the HR space, right?
Yeah.
Statistics show that when it comes to income progression, those who change roles or even organizations every couple of years, their salary increases outpace. I wish I could do this. Outpace
one place. Stay in one place.
That stay in one place, even if they continue to get increases.
Yeah.
And so that, transparency was huge even for me early on. So while if you look at my career, I don't have, in my 20 years, I don't have 10 corporations on my resume. But I promise you, if you look, I probably have 10 different roles in my experience, because you have to continue to seek opportunity and not wait for it.
Yeah.
Right. You have to and continue to grow and develop yourself above and beyond whatever training you might be hoping your company provides you. Right. Well, nobody told me that training was available. They didn't give me the opportunity to go to that training. One of the things I realized when I started talking to a lot of people and just understanding the power of just career conversations, mentorship, is that they were in the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
Totally in the driver's seat, right? They were asking for opportunity, right? Above and beyond their roles and responsibilities based on their job title. They were looking for chances to show and prove why they should be in that next role or promoted to that next level well before any leader or somebody came and said, hey, we think you're ready. Because the reality is this, and I'll say going way back early in my career, from job mindset to career mindset, job mindset had me at, they don't pay me to do that. Right? Career mindset and realization was, wait a minute, I have to show that I showed them that I'm capable of doing that before they would pay me.
Yeah, in advance.
It's but we have to be okay, doing that, and again, gaining that experience, letting our roots of our tree grow, right? Letting that experience that we can gain before we sprout up, right, and show how great we are. Going through that nurturing cycle. And quite honestly, Jonathan, I think that's one of the things I worry about with the next generation, and that we're trying to teach our son, my wife and I are trying to teach our sons is, and I hate to even use the term delayed gratification, but more so hard work comes before success in any walk of life, right? They play sports right now. And my son was getting frustrated, last season with his batting average and why he was striking out. And if anybody watches baseball, he's a big kid, so he can very strong. He's a cleanup hitter, bats in the fourth spot, and so being the biggest kid, looking like you can crush the ball, he saw a ton of curveballs. So we had a conversation. I was like, well, how much have you practiced hitting off speed pitches? Do not be upset about success that you didn't get from work that you didn't put in.
Say that one more time. Hold on. Say that one more time.
Do not be upset about success that you didn't get from work that you didn't put in.
Wow. Yeah.
And that applies everywhere. You're not losing the weight you want to lose. You're not gaining the muscle you want to gain. Not getting promoted at work. You don't feel like, if it's a spiritual situation, you don't feel like man, God is showing up in your life in the way you would hope that he would. Um, you're not feeling that your relationships are reciprocal, right? Let's look in the mirror. But at the end of the day, let's focus on the habits. Let's focus on the work, man, and then the outcome should take care of itself.
There you go. There you go. You got to put the work in.
You got to
Uh,
put the work in.
and not only do you need to put the work in, but you need to put the work in on the right thing
And
because
consistency.
and consistency. Yeah,
Consistency. You have to be
it's a
consistent.
journey.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for the ups and downs,
Yeah.
ready to push through failures. You know, most people who have succeeded have failed more than the average individual. So,
Absolutely.
um, you made me think about something earlier though, because um, there's times when you do need to pivot, right?
Hmm.
And there's times when you need to push through.
Yeah.
And knowing the difference between which one you need to do starts with learning to building a self-trust,
Hmm.
your own judgment to be able to make those calls and make those decisions along
Hmm.
the way, right?
Yeah.
And building self-trust starts with following through on the commitments that you make to yourself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they struggle with knowing whether to pivot or not
Yeah.
because they haven't built up the self-trust to trust their own judgment.
Right. But and also I think we because I'll tell you the more you figure yourself out and give yourself permission to try different things, you get more experience to look back on to build that confidence. So
100%.
giving your question at the beginning about is it a generational thing where we can be resistant to change, right? And if
Yeah.
you come up watching a generation of people work somewhere for 20 years, 30 years
Mhm.
and retire, that's your reference point, right? But over time, generations change and they're willing to adapt and pivot and try new things. And so again, in my 40s now, 20 years behind me, having tried different things inside and outside of my profession, entrepreneurial, non-entrepreneurial, searching and seeking for what I'm passionate about. You
Mhm.
now can say, wait a minute, now I have a book of examples to know what I like, what I don't like, how long it might take me to recover from making a change, or
Mhm.
how or clarity around making the change wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, or
Mhm.
wow, I wish I would have made that change a lot faster. you know, and you can pull from. But if you delay that, you never gain that experience. And it's almost like the idea of as parents, right? We want to protect our kids from making the same mistakes we made.
Yeah.
But we all know they're still going to touch that hot stove, right?
Yeah.
And my philosophy is like, go ahead and touch it. Like the sooner you touch it, the sooner you learn, right? And if I equate that to life, whatever that thing that you're fearful of doing, go ahead and try it. Now, don't just jump out of the plane without a parachute, but start learning about it, right? Start engaging with people doing it. Start really looking at it a little bit closer. Get a bit more of a realistic picture of what it entails. But once you have enough information to jump, right? And I'll even say maybe, and sometimes it's not even a jump, right? Because jumping might equate to leaving one thing and going to another, right? I might even argue, go ahead and give it an attempt to start something on the side, try something part-time. Set in your mind that, okay, I can do anything for X period of time. You've heard me say that. I can do anything for a couple of years, right? If I'm
Yeah.
if I'm really stretching myself and wanting to try something.
Yeah.
The older you get, a couple of years might be too long, right? But when you're young, hey, I can do anything for 6 months, right? Let me see how this feels. Let me see if this is something that I can really see myself doing for a long time. And then for anyone that's out there that does not have a spouse or children and has some space and time to kind of be a bit more selfish, let's say, or a bit more risky, that's an advantage.
Mhm.
That's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And don't see it as, well, what if it's a waste of time, right? Don't
Yeah.
look at it as, man, imagine what would happen if I gained 6 months of experience in doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm now able to either continue to follow that path or realize that now I shouldn't spend the next 2 years doing that because I now know that's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That exploration. being
Absolutely. Yeah.
exploration, getting out there and trying different things.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why sometimes when I talk to people who they don't really know what they want,
Hmm.
is because they haven't explored enough to really
Hmm.
have an idea of what's out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, in I've worked with underserved communities, and that's a big thing that comes up is just their
Yeah.
sometimes they've had a lack of exposure,
Yeah.
like a lack of exposure to different things, and they don't know what opportunities or what things are out there for them, right?
Yeah.
And so their vision or their
Yeah.
concept of what they can become is limited
Yeah.
based on their limited experience, right? But I would say also if you're mid-career or on the backside, right, and you've already built a life where you've kind of been in one lane
Hmm.
and you haven't had a chance to explore,
Yeah.
you can still explore
Yeah.
intentionally, right? You're not gonna, like you said, jump all the way in and put your whole livelihood at stake on
Right.
something that you're rolling the dice that you don't know completely about.
Exactly.
But toe dipping, touching on it a little bit,
Hmm.
I encourage people to volunteer as a start,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have something that you think you might want to try, think you
Hmm.
might want to explore,
Yeah.
see if there's a way you can volunteer doing it and
Absolutely.
you get some exploration that way. That
Yeah.
way you can get some exposure to it. You can try it. You can talk to people who are in it,
Yeah.
right? And get some feedback that way.
Yeah.
And you can learn about experiences. You can explore through other people's experiences,
Yeah.
talking to other people who have done different things.
Yeah.
That comes back to relationships and networking and kind of getting yourself out there and making different contacts.
Yeah.
But all this is in a lane of kind of coming out of your shell,
Yeah.
agility. It involves putting yourself out there, talking to different people, exploring, looking online, being willing to kind of put yourself out there, right? And I would say if somebody is kind of more reserved,
Hmm.
personality wise, maybe toward the introvert side, yeah, it's easy for somebody who has a more adventurous spirit to say jump and
Yeah.
just put yourself out there. And they
Yeah.
probably should in some situations. I can relate to that. There's been situations where I've been analyzing, trying to figure out what's next, and I should just go,
Yeah.
right? You have to figure out what works for you,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So people can give you advice and say you should just jump, and they might be right in an instant, right? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, one of the most important things, Jomondre, when I'm working with people and coaching, is they have to own the decisions and the
Yes.
direction of where they're going, right?
Yeah.
They own the journey. We talked
Yeah.
about driver's seat earlier for career,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're in the driver's seat. So people can give you advice and say you should do one thing or the other, and even the coach, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going to take the tools and the principles, and you're going to have your own epiphanies and own breakthroughs and figure out what works for you based on who you are. It
Right.
might not work for you to just jump in. You might need to toe dip or you might need to take a different approach.
Yeah.
The point is to kind of expand your mindset, have a paradigm shift,
Yeah.
and learn to be intentional and proactive about how you're managing your life,
Yeah.
right? Lifestyle design is what you mentioned, right? From career to family, how do you construct
Yeah.
the life and the reality that you want that's going to bring you joy and fulfillment?
Yeah.
And you reverse engineer. You look at what's the vision for where I want to go,
Yeah.
and you back up and
Yeah.
you engineer what are the steps for you to get there. And your steps won't be right just because you
No.
craft a plan. It doesn't mean that plan is going to go just like you
Yeah.
lined it up. But
Yeah.
once you take a step, you get more information, right? And then you
Yeah.
take another step and you get information and you find out step three was wrong. It's
Yeah.
probably not the best way, and then you go a different way. The
Yeah.
point is just to start.
Yeah. And give yourself permission to go through the ugly phase, right? Give
Yeah.
yourself permission to go through that bumpy phase. Um, and thinking about, sports analogies, right? The saying, I think it was on a Jordan poster too, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
And one of the things that made him so successful is that he just kept shooting.
He did.
He just kept shooting. And so, but what you said also hits home with me, Jonathan, about not everyone may be ready to jump, and maybe on some cases you may need to just dip your toe. And the thing I like about that too is, if you're on the end of the spectrum where you're okay jumping, you're taking big jumps all the time. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. The cool
Mhm.
thing about toe dipping is it's allows you to based on the temperature, right? You go from toe to foot, foot to ankle, step all the way in. But on the toe dipping side, it also tends to be something that you're willing to do more often, right? If you're
Yeah,
on toe dipping spectrum and you jump in, it's going to be hard for you to even try a toe dip the next time,
yeah,
right? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So
yeah.
be
You're
yeah,
like,
so this
yeah, yeah. No, no,
that's
I'm never doing that again.
right, right.
Yeah,
If that initial failure or attempt was so damaging,
yeah.
um,
You know what parallel I would give that.
was that
If you were up in a plane and you it considered skydiving and somebody pushed you out of the plane.
oh, bro, that one, we ain't friends no more if we were friends before that. And two, you can't catch me in the play to get ready to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
skydiving ever again. But that is so true, right? But
yeah,
that's where that introspection and your being connected with the lifestyle you want and the outcome you want comes into play, right? Because sometimes we let other people put expectations on us,
yeah,
which then only does is increases anxiety or creates depression because we're not meeting up to societal or familial or friends' expectations of us. And those weren't even the expectations of ourselves, right?
yeah,
Like, be cognizant of that and align with where you want to go, not where somebody else wants you to go, right?
yeah,
And your pace is your pace, right? Like you
yeah,
said, if you're stepping out there and you're trying to run your first um, marathon, right? You're not going to sign up for the hardest one, right?
yeah, yeah,
You're not going to go. If you're in the hiking or mountain climbing, you're not going to pick Mount Everest as the first one, right? But you get successes though, starting with those small wins, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm so glad
that,
you said that though, because that goes to building confidence.
yeah,
And so when we talked about toe dipping, right, and getting those smaller wins
hmm
for someone who maybe lacks the confidence
yeah,
to step out into something new or pursue that dream,
hmm
toe dip and you get those incremental wins.
hmm
And you figure out, oh, that's okay. That temperature's not too bad.
right,
Now I can put my leg in. Now I can go
yeah,
waist deep. Now I can go further, right?
yeah,
And you build that confidence that okay, this isn't as bad as I thought. This is okay, right?
right,
And then along the journey, you have your big goal, but you chunk it and you
hmm
got your small action items, and I'm going to take this first step, right?
yeah,
And once you do that and it goes well and you get a win, you're like,
yeah,
oh, now I can take another
yeah,
step, right? And you
yeah,
just gradually build it rather than like we said earlier, taking on too much at once, it
yeah.
not going well and being like, you know what? I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Right, right. Yeah, it can just validate all your insecurities and
Yeah.
it can put it like I said, it can almost imprison your mind for years to come after that.
Yeah. So I think we said all that to say, everybody. I think it's just about intentionality,
Yeah,
thinking about what is it I want holistically, what is the vision and the life I want to create, reverse engineering it, and just starting somewhere,
yeah,
right? Just being willing to take a step. But you own your life, the career, the personal, all of it.
yeah,
So I think it's really important now, especially in the environment that we're in, that people get really intentional about the business of managing their lives
yeah,
and being empowered
yeah,
in managing your life and career. That way, regardless of what decisions anybody else makes for their business and your role, you're always ready for the next opportunity. And you have your eggs not in one basket to where you can pivot easily and
yeah.
shift with this changing world because it's speeding up, it's not slowing down
Every day.
every day, every day. Stay schooled up, learn about where things are going, skill yourself, educate yourself, and just get in the driver's seat. That's the best thing you can do.
Be the CEO of You Inc. That would be my
Hey,
recommendation.
hey, we'll drop the mic on that one.
Yeah,
CEO of You Inc. I love it. I love it. Man, always a great conversation, man. I appreciate you coming in
yeah.
and rapping with me a little bit.
I always enjoy it. You know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Take care. I know you got some family stuff today because you keep your life balanced and you got
Yeah.
your time designated for the little ones today. So
Yeah,
go give it to
I'm going to my next job. I'm the Uber driver the rest of the day. You know how that goes. So yeah,
them.
off and
Not the
running.
Uber driver.
That's it.
Not the Uber driver, man. Enjoy it, man. You know they grow up quickly. You gotta
They
savor
do.
it.
They do.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.